Good evening, Demon Phil here with hell of a show, and we got a hell of a guest with us here tonight. Before we get started on this, if I can make sure if you let me know that you can see and hear me over here in the comments, I'd appreciate it. And first in here tonight is Dan. Dan, thank you for being here. And again, let's get this shared out, get as many people in here as possible. We'll give this about another minute or two to go ahead and make sure we get some more people in here, and let me know if you can see and hear me, and we will get going here very shortly. Hope everyone had a great day, was productive as all get out with whatever they were doing. And wash your damn hands. You already know this. But it's been a good day over here. Gotten a lot done over on my end, and we're getting ready to do this show tonight, and I've been looking forward to this one. So, waiting on a couple more things to come through, and then we'll be getting going on this. Looks like everything's set up on the other ends over here. All right, Carl's here. Thank you for being here, Carl. And you can see and hear me. All right. We are good to go. And we got Angry Artist in the house as well. Angry Artist, welcome to the show. All right, so we'll make this official. This is Demon Phil's Hell of a Show. And we're going to get started with this very shortly with my guests. First and foremost, I always start off by thanking my sponsors because I do have some, and I very much appreciate them for being here. First off, we have Totally Rad Comics, which is Jim E. Noble. He has Totally Rad Life of Violet, Totally Rad Adventures of Zira, and nothing on the boards right now. However, if you go to his website, you can find the link on my page. You can find it on his page. It's all over the place right now. And I'll be doing another post whenever this show's over with. He has some of the Halloween covers that are starting to come out by Keith Garvey. Don't miss out on those. Codex Entertainment, which is Luis Torres. Luis Torres doesn't have anything in the books as of right now, but it looks like he's about to launch Nebula Pearl next month. If you haven't heard of it, well, that makes all of us in that boat because none of us have heard about that one. It's a brand new title from him, so be looking forward to that one. 183 Degree Studio, which is Kara Nicole, Alfred Trujillo. They have the calendar should be launching in the next week or so, from what I understand, and then Fire Bitch 2 should be launching the end of October. And we have got Naughty Fairies, which is Wendy Steen Shaner. Wendy Steen Shaner doesn't have anything for Naughty Fairies right now. However, see this up here at the top? Comic Unity? Naughty Fairies is a part of that in a way with a new character in there named Cyrus. Wendy Steen Shaner, CB Zane, Tom Hutchison, all the Trinity head that is working this online con event that started up a few days ago and is going strong right now. Do not miss out on this event. Go check it out. And then we've got Third Empire, which has got Mojo Rising, which finished out on Kickstarter a couple of weeks ago. Did very well on that. They've got other projects that are coming up. I haven't heard the official names of them yet, but as I do, I will definitely let you know. And then to round this out, we have got Nine Realms Publishing. Nine Realms Publishing has got Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit launching September 22nd. I am the head of marketing for this one, so you will be seeing a lot of stuff coming out on that one starting tonight and then leading out until the launch. So be looking forward to that one. All right, so that is the official on there, and wow, we are filling up quick in here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. David Fought, Dan is already here. Let me see, Angry Artist is here. Go ahead and throw that out there. Welcome to the show, baby. And we have got Chris Demiad in here. Excellent. And quite a few others already in the works. All right, let's get this started. I've got my guest here ready to go, so here is Anthony Figaro.
Hey, how you doing, Phil?
What's going on, Anthony? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me on, brother.
Hey, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this one, and we're going to figure out exactly why here shortly. But first and foremost, for those who don't know you out there in the audience and everything, if you'll go ahead and give them a brief, who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
All right, who I am. That's a tough one. This is an age-old question.
Not the version.
Gotcha. You want the transient version. Okay, so my name is Anthony Figaro. People who know me call me Tony. I'm born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been into comic books since I was about 10 years old. I started drawing them. And I think this is about 23, I got into the industry a little bit. I got into Ape Entertainment, and I hooked up with another guy, Marcus Kagisu, in We put together a company called Lightning Age Studios. We put out a few books. And then Katrina happened for me in New Orleans. It kind of sidetracked me, and my hopes and dreams, along with everybody else in New Orleans, got kind of washed out for a second. And I don't know, the fates had different ideas, and so I was inspired to put together a book about New Orleans legends, and crowdfunded, and apparently here I am today, man, on your show. I finally made it to the big time, bro.
We'll go with that, yes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there because people are starting to they're getting to know who I am throughout the shows as well. And there's a reason I'm excited about this one. Anthony and I were kind of discussing this in the green room prior to coming out here, is I've actually got some roots in Louisiana as well. So if my Cajun accent starts coming out a little bit here, I want to go ahead and apologize ahead of time because there's some good stuff when I get in there, especially when I eat some food, to come out just a little bit on that. But anyway.
Yeah, wrong too, man.
I have a little bit there because Anthony even asked me, where I was from and where the accent come from, and we were talking about that. But Anthony, I got to ask, what are some of your favorite Creole dishes that you've got there?
Favorite Creole dishes?
Yes.
I don't know. It's so strange. We were talking about this ahead of time. Like, I don't know, man, because I don't know them as Creole dishes. I just know them as Tuesday's meal. You know what I mean? Like, I just, you know what I mean? I just know, because it's weird, man, because you have the standard gumbo, right? But then everybody makes it their own way. You know what I mean? And your grandma, your grandpa makes it the way you like it. So you could be like, oh, gumbo, but I'm not talking about any gumbo. Etouffee, I'm Italian, so what we do is when we was talking about New Orleans and diversity and culture and everything. Well, you have these subcultures down here, and so everybody just mixes everything up. So you have my people come up with Itasian dishes, right? So they take Italian and Cajun and make Itasian food out of it. So that'll be like, shrimp, andouille sausage, but we'll put that over some pasta. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And we'll just make our own shit up. You know what I mean? So it's that's the funny part about it. Creole food is, a lot of roux, a lot of gumbos, seafood. Whether you like okra in your gumbo or not, everybody's different like that. But I would say, red beans and rice. That's red beans and rice and pork chops. That's a little bit older. Gumbo's good, depending on how you make it. But crawfish, any type of crawfish pasta, crawfish, anything like that. Those are always good. But then again, it depends, as well as I do. It depends on who's making it, man.
Exactly. All right.
So it's a lot of words for not a lot of ants.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely filled in the answers on there the way we needed to. In fact, I think I'm gonna shut down the show right now and go fix some food.
There you go, baby. I'll send you some Zatarain.
No. So, what were some of your favorite comics growing up?
When I got into comics, you had the first comic I ever bought was it's an Iron Man comic during Iron Wars. Bob Layton was on Iron Man. That was the very first comic I bought. And then I moved into Uncanny X-Men with the Arthur Adam covers. And those were killer. I never, I was a kid, I was like 9, 10 years old. I never could understand. I'm like, man, even as a kid, it dawned on me. Like, I was like, why do the covers look this way, but the interiors don't match? Like, man, boy, if the interiors look like the cover, man, this would be awesome. I think I discovered shortly after that, Todd McFarlane was on Hulk, the Incredible Hulk at the time. Silvestri was on Uncanny X-Men, and Jim Lee was on Punisher War Journal. So when I came in, that was kind of, John Byrne was still in there. He was doing Namor, I think. He just finished She-Hulk and stuff. So when I came in, you still had, Avengers, West Coast Avengers. I think at the time when I came in, Captain America was in his black suit. I missed the part where he had given it up, but he was in his black suit with his adamantium shield, running around with the knockoff Wolverine. I think his name was Demolition Man or something like that, but he was running around with him. And it's weird because for whatever reason, how I got into comics was when I was like 10 years old. We used to go to 7-Eleven, and me and my partners would go and we would just steal comic books. And we would take them and we'd bring them home and we'd trace them and all that stuff like this. And it's weird, man, because as strange as it sounds, I'm not going to say they didn't have any, but all the comics that we stole were all Marvel comics. It's weird, man, thinking back on it. Like if I look at my collection, because I still got most of the ones I stole from when I was a kid. They're all Marvel books. You know what I mean? Later on, I got into Batman and stuff, but when I was younger, it was mainly just Marvel stuff.
Well, they've mainly been the ones to flood the market with more stuff than anybody else. I mean, even more than DC, even today. And it's just one of those things that they kind of stood out a little bit more, because I remember back whenever I was growing up, mine was getting the 3-packs of comics at the dime store. That's how old I am, by the way. But I got the 3-pack whenever I had a good report card or something like that. So, I mean, that was a big deal back then. I sure wish I would have kept those comics and had a way to keep them, but I didn't. So I cry on my pillow every night.
Well, let me put it like this. If you were like me, you would have kept them. They just wouldn't have been in very good condition. I got them. They just, because I didn't get to a comic book store. Shit, man. Till maybe I was 14, maybe. So there was like a 4-year stretch where I was just strictly getting my books from the corner and from the drugstores and stuff like this. So I was a kid and I was just reading them, and then I was tracing. So a lot of them, if you look at the inside covers, you can see the lines from me tracing them and stuff. But it wasn't until I got to a comic book store that I realized that there were these things called bags and boards. And you should keep your books in that stuff. I was like, wow, I was never one of those guys until, like I said, until I got a little bit older, and then I started kind of taking care of my books and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, whenever we were growing up, we had the silly putty, which you're supposed to, slap onto a comic book, and then you had the imprint on the silly putty. We thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, they used to give you coupons in the goddamn book, so you'd have to cut them up to get the X-ray glasses out of them and shit.
Exactly. Lewis, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here, buddy. So we've kind of gotten the origin story of how you got into things and what's kind of built up to this point. So now we're going to talk about God's Hand, because that's what you started. It was last year that you started that, or when did you start that exactly?
That's correct. Yeah, it was last year.
Okay. And then it's funded, and you're in demand right now on Indiegogo, and it's still doing really well. So why don't you go ahead and tell us the synopsis on God's Hand and let everybody know what's going on with that?
Okay. So I like to tell people, God's Hand's the story is a mixture between Angel Heart and Hellboy. So if you've seen Angel Heart, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend you go see it. It's a movie with Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro. Excellent movie. You will not be disappointed. So it's kind of a vibe like that, where essentially the story is, there's a lot of backstory which we'll get into the second book, but in this story, basically, what you catch up with Jean Lafitte. Jean Lafitte is let me start like this. A guy came to do a story on me. He saw my artwork. He wanted to do a story on me. He asked me if I had any stories about New Orleans. I said, no, I didn't. He said, well, could you make one up? He said, could you use New Orleans? Could you use New Orleans legends? And so I started to think about it, and I said, okay. So I started writing a story and stuff like this. And it started out with like we called it PCSI. Instead of crime scene investigators, it was paranormal crime scene investigators. And so I started kind of chopping it from there, going, okay, well, how do you mix in these characters? And so then you start saying, okay, well, Jean Lafitte, let's see, which is a character. If you look him up and you look up Jean Lafitte, he was a real pirate. He fought in the Battle of New Orleans in the War of 1812. So he's a real character, And so I took him. I found out when he died, which is cool because it's kind of disputed. So I took that and I started writing the character. And I said, okay, well, what if you took this guy, and what if you took Marie Laveau and you made him immortal? And you said, okay, well, let's make them protectors. Let's make them detectives. Let's make them investigators. And these people use their immortality and their powers to protect their city, because this is their city. This is where they grew up. This is where they live. This is their home. You know, so they've been a part of it. They're a part of, like we were saying earlier, they're part of the lifeblood. They're part of the heartbeat of the city. They are the city. And so it's basically about those two characters working for what we call the NOPD, which is the New Orleans Occult Protection Division. And it's basically they handle any type of werewolf, vampire, monster attacks, anything like that. They're lead investigators. They deal with these types of things. So anyways, the story kind of takes place where it picks up where Jean Lafitte is actually not in New Orleans. He has this little misfit team of monster hunters. He's a monster mercenary. And they're hunting down this monster, and he gets a call, and they basically inform him that Marie Laveau's been murdered, and they want him to come out of exile, and he has 48 hours to essentially find out what happened to Marie and solve the case. And so as he comes out of exile, you figure out that something happened. Well, how do you get exiled? They start talking about the Katrina incident, and so we mix in a lot of things that really happened. And so throughout the story, you find out, well, what the Katrina incident is, what happened, why he got exiled. But in the meantime, the story's about him navigating the city now, while there's a bounty on his head, while people are trying to take him out, while he's trying to solve what's going on. And so that's the real meat of the book. And like I said, he's got 48 hours, so it's fast paced, it's fast drama. And at the end, you know, we give you closure to that story while opening up the door to the next chapter. Nice. So that's the deal with all these Lovecraftian undertones that are throughout the book.
Now I'm going to bring up the actual campaign here on the screen. So this is the Indiegogo.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of show everyone that's out there, this is some of the artwork that's available, you know, that's going to be on here. And I'm going to show you more as we go along as well. But this is some of the characters that are involved. You can see where the supernatural element is in there. It's not so overpowering that it's unbelievable per se, but it does give that, I mean, it's a very good comic book feel that's in there. It gives that element that's in it. And I mean, the book itself, the way that it looks on the interiors, but this is what got my attention whenever I first started looking at this. Look at the cover. Just look at that cover and tell me you wouldn't want that in your collection just for the cover alone, and then you get the great story and great artwork inside. This is a win-win situation here.
Definitely a win-win. I get some money in the process. It's a win-win for everybody, man.
But I mean, it is. It's a great looking thing that you got on here. You actually, whenever it covered everything, you were at 136 backers, $10,984. You're now at 265 backers, $15,470, and it's still moving pretty strong. And whenever you start scrolling through here, you'll start seeing some of the things that are available. There's even T-shirts that are on here, so you can kind of show it off and kind of do the marketing for him on the outside, which again, win-win.
That's it, baby. That's a good-looking shirt, man.
It is. It really is. I would wear that on my show in a heartbeat. I'm telling you right now.
That sounds like a hint.
The prices we got on here. Well, I'm just reminding myself I need to go back and get it because I've already got the shirt that I paid for. I need to go back and get the shirt. But the prices that you got on here are great. But I mean, look at that artwork. You cannot go wrong with the way that looks. And I mean, I know, you know, demon and everything, so it kind of plays into my motif and everything that I like as well. But for those that are out there that like the supernatural stuff or the horror series, this is something that goes right along with that, and it really shows off on here. But on top of that, you've got two different covers because you've got one that's available only on the Indiegogo, and then you got your
correct. Right. The colored cover is the standard cover.
Right.
Because once the book leaves Indiegogo, we'll sell it at Barnes and Noble. We'll sell it in comic book shops and whatnot. However, the charcoal cover, the first cover that's above that, is the Indiegogo only. Meaning, if you buy it on Indiegogo, you'll get the charcoal cover. But once the campaign's over with, that's not going to be released to the public.
And we've got a few questions over here. Let me get to these real quick before we get going. So we've got Mog Park is in here, and she said, wow, a lot going on. Sounds interesting, and it absolutely
Thank you, Mog.
Another one to support. Yep, such a supernatural fiend. I knew I was going to hit some buttons on
There
this
you
one.
go, baby. Thank you, Mark.
Well, we got another one that's interested as well because I knew he was going to be interested. Dan, he wants to know if he can purchase any other books that you've got besides the Indiegogo. And right now, this is your first one, correct?
Okay, so okay, I believe you can get the project that I ever worked on was in 2016. It was a book called Count Carlos, and I
Okay.
didn't write it, but I did the art for it. But what we have is we have that actually in the add-ons. So if you want to add that on, if you'd like to get signature series, you can get that, and you can add on a copy of Count Carlos, which is a 28. I think it's either a 28 or a 32 page book,
Nice.
and you can add that on.
And this is the testament right here because that's my girlfriend and she's interested in it as well. So there you go.
Well, thank you.
So that's three people right there that are interested. So we're doing pretty good here right now. So let's go ahead and continue looking at what we've got on here. I mean, again, the value is there for what you get. I mean, even on the $50 one that you got here, you get the book, the metal bookmark, which those bookmarks are sick looking. I've seen you posting
Yeah,
those
man,
all over the place here lately.
they came out really nice, man.
You get the print and the variant cover, which is just, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, $50. I mean, that's cheap for what all you're getting on there, and you're getting good quality stuff on there. And how long is the book again? How many pages?
Okay, so initially it was 52,
Okay.
but we kind of, because we ran over our schedule because of printers and COVID and stuff, we added another 12 pages. So the book's going to wind up coming in at like 64, 65 pages.
So it's going to be close to a trade paperback.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, let me put it like this. And when I say let me rephrase that. That's 64 pages of story content. Now,
Yep.
once you put in your chapter breaks and stuff like this, you may be up to 70 pages.
Very nice. So, in other words, you're getting your money's worth. This is not a
Absolutely.
trash can.
No. No.
Now, this is the variant that we were just kind of showing on the small screen there. Now, this is a larger picture of it here, and that is a very cool looking variant that you got going there.
Yeah, that's Andy Kuhn did that for us.
Now, a lot of times, whenever I scroll through, me personally, what I always do is I go to the very last tier that's available because I want to see what you've got at the highest price that you've got on there, just to see what your mindset is on what you're looking for and what kind of value you're giving on that. When I saw this one, because we just bounced from $75 to $2,000, and everybody's kind of like, wow, what in the world is going on here? Okay, so creator control. And whenever you read this, basically what this is saying is not only do you get creator control here, but you get to sit behind the table at one of the events with Anthony,
Right.
one of the cons whenever they open back up, because they will.
Right.
And you get to go ahead and talk about, what you think about the book, what you thought about, the stuff worked on it and this, that, and the other. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you get to work on another one that you get to kind of give your
correct.
On
Yes. So correct. Creative control the meat of creative control essentially is because you get a lot of good swag out of it. Don't get me wrong. And we have more, but Indiegogo only allows you like 10 items. So
Right.
we limited out, but basically there's a few more items on there because you get a third book, of course. But the real meat of all that is that you essentially again get to come down, sit behind the table, and then afterwards we go to Gene Lafitte's blacksmith shop, which is on Bourbon. We're gonna go have a drink. I'm gonna pay for people's drinks. Sit down, talk about the story, but then we're gonna get into the next chapter and have the individual say, okay, well, this is what we're thinking about doing, and we're gonna sit down and say, okay, what do you think about this? And then we're gonna let them design a character to put into the story.
That is absolutely cool. I mean, for the value on there, it's definitely there. So if you've ever thought about working on a project that you want to get in on and get your name out there and try to figure out some things you love, science fiction, horror, history, I mean, it's all kind of mixed into there.
And you get to come to New Orleans and you get to go down the Bourbon Street And after we do Lafitte's, I'll take you to some real seedy New Orleans places that only locals know about.
Oh, there we go.
You won't find this on the tourist map.
Do I need that extra kidney? I might be able to sell that and get some money for that. I don't know. We'll see. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, so we've got great exterior, you know, it looks cool and everything. What do the pages look like? And that's a big thing with a lot of people because
100%, bro. 100%.
I mean, you've got 50 pages in here. What is it going to look like? This is the first look at what we've got. And then I'm going to show a couple other things that is going to be actually kind of an exclusive because he just sent me some stuff through Facebook Messenger that I'll be screen sharing here very shortly to show you some things. He just showed me at 3 pages, I believe.
Yes, sir. That's it.
But, I mean, look at the artwork and look at how it's done on here. This is not a shady thing on here where it's done very quick, very, you know, you don't take anything away from it.
Yeah, don't say anything. Look, my editor, my partner, and man, he's slaving for me. I call him Slavosaurus Rex, man. He's over there doing me a good job, man. As Marcus Degisu doing a really good job on this. And he's really helped, like you said, Phil, he's really helped make the book look professional, look polished. The artwork looks great, guy, and it is, and I'm telling you. But you get into making books, and I'm telling you right now, you realize you could make a beautiful page of artwork look totally like shit if you don't have the right letterers, if you don't have the right positioning. You can really tear up a page if you don't have someone who's doing a good job in the editing department, man. Seriously.
Exactly. And see, here's what I love, and people that know me, know my shows and everything. I can't stand 9-box, stand-up panels, that kind of thing. And especially whenever you go outside of the panels, I love seeing that. I love seeing whenever it extends outside the panel because it brings you into the story. It draws your eyes to everything that's going on, and it's just much smoother. And if you look at this, I mean, look, just you see this here, but you see down at the bottom, it's actually extending over the panel, which gives you much more depth to what you're getting involved in.
I always dig that. It's something that I've seen artists to whom I admire do, and I'm just like, it just does. It pulls you from one panel to another, you know.
Now, you're doing the story. Are you doing any of the artwork as well? Are you doing the interiors? What are you doing?
Yeah, all the artwork's mine, except for the alternate cover by Andy Kuhn. Everything else is drawn by me.
I got to tell you, that is phenomenal artwork on there.
That's what I said. I didn't want to pull a X-Men Classics on people. I wanted to make sure that the cover and the interiors were the same. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man.
And I appreciate that because I backed this whenever it first came out because the cover was what got my attention, and then I started seeing the pages, and I was like, oh man, I got to do this.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just some of the stuff that's in here, and you see how detailed it is. You can't go wrong with this. I mean, and it's coming out the size of a trade paperback. Like I said, the value's there. So, I mean, you've got everything that you need in this. I mean, it just keeps going. It just keeps getting better and better as you go along. And I'm not stopping for too long because I don't want to give away, the storyline as we're going. You can go look at this as well. It's
okay because I'm going to tell you, you can go. The first 8 pages is essentially your intro, and it's okay because it kind of sets everything up. That's why we put it on the page. Anybody who wants to see it and read it, that's why we put that out there because we felt like we almost made it like a zero issue almost. You know what I mean? Where it's like it kind of lays out so you understand, enough of, because if you listen to the trailer video, it tells you kind of that. And the first 8 pages or 9 pages just essentially reinforces what the trailer already tells you. But the meat of the book is about the hunt. It's all about the hunt and how does he get from what happened to Marie, figuring that out and getting resolution to that. That's the heart of the book.
And this is another reason why I back this thing because demon, female demon, that kind of thing, it's a have to. So seeing something like this was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. And the detail work that's involved in this is really cool, man.
Thank you, man.
I mean, it is on point.
That girl, we'll go to one of the updates because she's a part of like when you go to when we finish going to the bottom, we'll back up to one of the updates and I'll show you what you'll be happy.
Okay.
Anybody who backs the book will be happy. Let me put it to you like that.
Absolutely.
Those are the bookmarks. Those are the images for the bookmarks.
These don't look anything.
No, man.
It's you, by these.
Man. No, man. You can't. It's funny though, man, because I'm telling you, you can't even in pictures, as good as they look in pictures. I'm telling you right now, pictures, video. I've done it both ways. They just cannot capture how good those metal bookmarks look, man. Because we do like a mirror finish on ours, and it's just like you can't, you know. Now this is part of the stretch goals. These are trading cards that everybody will get those two trading cards right there.
Right. The trading cards are cool. It's the other stretch goal on here that I'm all kinds of excited about because I know that that was unlocked. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That one came out nice too, man.
I haven't seen any images of that one yet, but I can only imagine. What size is it going to be? Is it going to be the standard?
It's standard tarot size.
Okay, good.
It's a standard. We went to a special place and actually ordered it from a tarot card place. So It's standard tarot size. We're still waiting for those, and I have some paper prints that we're waiting for to come in. But as soon as those come in, we're going to flash those off.
Dan, I hear you. I'm going to tell you right now, I am embedded the link. It is on Facebook. It is on YouTube. It is on all of the sites that I'm streaming to right now. It is embedded in the comments at the top. Just go ahead and click on see more. You've got the link right there. You can go directly to it. Go get it. And I'm going to stop screen sharing for just a moment so I don't scroll and make everybody, seasick from moving too fast here. Let me scroll. Because you said the
updates. Yeah, you have two of them. You have the most. If you want to use the most recent one, has pictures of the bookmarks, but it's really the one that's before that actually talks about all the what we call the lanyap. That's the bookmarks.
Okay, so here's the bookmarks, and again, like you said, you really can't see the detail. No. You can see the shine to a degree.
I promise you, man. When you hold them in your hand, you'll just be like, "Yeah, it doesn't do it." Now that if you scroll back up, if you look at that in that top corner, you'll see that bookmark, that sticker. It's to the top right hand corner, and that smaller version right there. Those are going to be what we call. Those won't go in the lanyard pack, but those will be extras. And we're going to show you in the next update what that's about, because we realized we overshot our original ship out date, and so we felt, and again, you deal with things, you deal with problems in life and stuff, but we felt really blessed to have the type of fans that we have that have been extremely patient, extremely supportive, man. And he basically, that's. We decided to go ahead and create. We have lanyard packs, and we added some extra stuff. And if you read in the next update, it'll tell you all the stuff that we're adding to everybody's package.
Now Dan is asking, can he sign it too? Dan, you can get the signature series, and you will get it signed. Absolutely.
Correct. I'm pretty sure everything on there right now is everything is signature. Even when it comes, because that's how I figure. If you spend more than $25, to me, a signature is coming on there. If you go down, if you look right there, it says all backers will receive.
Yes. Yeah, I got my email, so I know what all this says.
Okay, well, gotcha. There you go. So that's what we added for everybody. So everybody will get the small print of the red temptress. Everybody will get that. Yeah. We added the 10 pages to the book, and then we're going to select 30 people, and they'll receive the special die cut God's Hand sticker from the cover. Then we have 10 backers who will randomly select will get the special edition bookmark of the Griever, the villain, which was that purple character on there. We'll only have 10 of those signed, sent out, and we also will have 5 limited edition metal trading cards, which was the smaller version of the Jean Lafitte trading card, but it's in metal. So we're going to pick 5 backers, and we're going to send those out to them for free.
Very cool. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Raj is in here. Thank you for being here, Raj. He said that Anthony.
There's Raj. Raj's got to up his game, man. You need to get some better friends, Raj. You got to get you a better class of friends, bro.
You know, he claims me as a friend too, so I don't know what that's saying about him.
Man, Raj. Oh man, Raj's good people, man.
And Dan said, Phil, sorry, but I need to check this out now. You know what, Dan? Go check it out. You're not going to hurt either of our feelings.
Do what you got to do, brother. Do your duty, man. Do what you got to do.
Now, I'm going to say this right now because whenever I got this email, and you get the email and it always says at the top, because I'll scroll back up here, just wanted to update. I've encountered some setbacks. Whenever you start seeing things like that, you start going, oh, that means I'm not getting it on time. That means I'm not going to have it in my hands. You know, I really want to get this. I guess I'll just have to wait. It's the fact that you went the extra step on here because you didn't have to. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to take care of my people. I'm going to go ahead, since they're waiting on this, I'm going to go ahead and just throw in this kind of stuff in there and make it a little more personalized for your wait.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the lanyard packs. Lanyard packs. Everybody gets a lanyard pack, which will have 4 uniquely New Orleans items in them. It won't tell you what they are until you get them, but that's a lanyard. Because in New Orleans, the word lanyard means extra. So we made lanyard packs. I forgot about those.
I can only imagine what you're going to put in there. My brain is going nuts trying to figure out what you're going to put in there on that one. I'm definitely interested. But the fact that you took the time and showed the respect to do this on there, that should show everybody that backs this thing that this is a serious deal here.
Well, your fan, let me tell you something. And everything I wrote in there, again, it's all heartfelt because it really is. It's like, look, you have a lot of people who have supported not only the book, right, but me. You know what I mean? And have showed support to me and have been extremely patient and extremely accepting and been very, very understanding, man. And it's helped out a lot. It really has, because it's just given me, like I said in the thing, it's given me motivation to really continue and push this through, because we have had some setbacks. And it's hard when you deal with setbacks, you know what I mean? Because you're on the other end and you have all these expectations and you have these ideas and you're just moving along, and then you just get clipped, man. And it takes some wind out your sails, and then and you get clipped again, and it's tough. It's tough sometimes to pull yourself back up off the ground. But it's like when you have good people who are supporting you and and backing your play and being really gracious and generous, man. It's like, it gives you the energy that you need to say, hey man, or the support that you need to say, hey, it's going to be okay, bro. Let me just get up, put one foot in front of the other, man. Let me just continue moving forward, and everything's going to be all right, And so it was like, yeah. So it was one of those things where it was like, well, how do we show this? How do I sit down and think about, well, what can I do? And so I threw together some stuff. I passed it through a few people, and they were like, yeah, we think this is really cool, man.
Very cool.
Just a little token of appreciation, man.
Oh, absolutely. Now, speaking of token of appreciation, since we like exclusives, and every once in a while I get a few guests on here that like doing exclusives, we have 3 colored pages. They are not complete. They are colored, but these are pages that have not been seen by anyone yet, correct?
Correct.
So this is for y'all. So let me go ahead and show this. I'll do a screen share here. And you can see some of what's going to be happening inside the book. So again, no one else has seen this. This is DemoNation exclusives here. And gorgeous. I mean, look at that's on there. There's not even any lettering or any finished work on there. It's just the coloring, but it automatically draws you into the story just by looking at what's on there. It's art that's speaking on its own. And that doesn't happen very often, especially whenever you're dealing with the comic industry. A lot of people think it has to be a finished product to go ahead and speak to you.
Correct.
This is something I would put on my wall in a heartbeat, as is. and have other people come in going, wow, that's amazing. And it gets better. It gets much better. So I don't even know. I mean, I'm kind of speechless on this because the storyline itself, we know it's a supernatural, trend that's on there and all, so we kind of see where it's going. But the level of detail that's in here, I mean, you see some of the character development that's in here, the surprise that's in there. Again, this is telling the story. There's something ominous there. It doesn't get any more ominous than that right there. And then you're showing some serious teeth in this. But wait, there's more. There's one more page. There he is. That's the big bad right there.
That's one of them.
Exactly. And you're saying that's one of them? That's like I'm sitting here going, holy crap, when does this book come in my hands?
That's it, man. I'm having a great time working on it, man. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, there's been like I said, there's been times when it's been heartbreaking, but when you get down in it and you start putting together, man, and it's like, man, this feels good because you're putting together a good product, and that when people get it, man, like, let me tell you something. As an artist, as a creator, I don't care what anybody says. One of the best experiences that I have as a creator, right, is drawing something or creating something. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. And I'll be at a convention and you'll see these kids come up. And when these kids get these pieces of artwork, man, it's like you created the sun. You know what I mean? And it's like they are just, and they're not going to sell it on eBay. And they're not, you know what I mean? Like, it is, you have really given them something. And there's something about creating something and sharing it with others who get that feeling out of it. And it's like, it's a good thing, man. It's a great, you know what I mean? It's one of the positive things that I think that in this world, I wish there was more of, where it's like, there's so much stuff out there that we could be doing to bringing each other together and making each other, feel good about one another, man, inspiring each other. And I think at the end of the day, if you get this book and you read it, if you're entertained, that's great. But if it inspires you to go do something, man, create your own story, write your own thing, whatever the case may be, that's where you really want. You know what I mean? Is to inspire people to do something, with their own ideas, with their own talents,
I could not have said it better myself. That is absolutely true because just from what I'm seeing right now, like I said, I can't wait to get the book in my hands. I want to do an online book review for you as long as you give me permission for that. And then, of course, I do that.
1,000%.
But what I want to ask now is we've looked at what you've got available, and everybody's over there drooling, and drool rags are not provided by the show. You have to provide your own. Sorry. But we've kind of looked at everything that's going on, and everybody's getting excited. So the next thing I want to ask you is, this is your first project. So what have you learned as being something that you never want to do again as far as crowdfunding, and B, something that you've learned to do better on your next crowdfunding?
Oh man, never want to do again crowdfunding. Man, I never want to have to cold call people and ask them for money ever again. Oh man, that's rough, man. I think I would probably, I guess that falls into the latter category. I think I would probably have developed the story a little bit more. I would have preferred to have maybe 50 to 75% of the story finished versus 20. You know what I mean? It's just it's a lot harder. What you don't understand is that and I have to always give Billy Tucci credit because he's the first guy I ever heard say it was, what you don't understand when you go into these things is that you are essentially a man of many parts. You will be wearing many hats. And so you have this artist hat, this writer hat, but that's part. But then you have a promoter hat. Then you have a post-production hat. and then you have an overall management hat that you have to wear because you're managing people, you're managing colorists, you're managing stuff. And in Billy Tucci said the problem is that when you're drawing, the promotion department's not working, the writing department's not working, and when you're promoting, the drawing department's not working, the writing department's not working, and you know, you try to learn how to do that. And so the more stuff that you can get accomplished ahead of time, you know, that you can just deal with at certain times, the promo stuff, you know what I mean, the post-production stuff, like, and you can, the better off you are. But it's still a trick. It's still a balancing act. There's no doubt on that.
Yeah, I
as far as
on that, yes.
As far as what, go ahead.
That you want to do more next time?
Probably promote early, which I didn't do, man. Like I said, I mean, I stumbled, fumbled, and bumbled my way through most of this, and I didn't do any early promotion. You know, I mean, whatever I did, it was so minute, it was so small, it was so a lot of word of mouth. I got lucky. What happened was I got lucky, and I had a convention. They had did a news story about me on the local news with a twist, and then there was a convention like that weekend. So I wound up getting like 40 or 50 signups for the book from that convention. And so that helped me out a little bit. And then we had a convention like November 5th. The book launched on October 31st. And I was selling books at the convention. Instead of selling prints, I was selling books right on. I was loading them up on the computer screen. I had my little phone and shit, and I had my iPads, and I was having people just buy them directly there. But I think if I could have gotten out ahead of it, maybe a month and a half ahead of it, and just started really drilling it, you know what I mean? I definitely want to do that next time, so I don't have to make so many cold calls asking people for money.
Now, speaking of asking people for money, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now because I love this part of the show whenever it happens, but you have got yourself a follower.
Man, beautiful.
Double trouble in the t-shirt.
There you go, brother.
Dan, do me a favor. Whenever you do get these in, if you will take a picture whenever you get this in and go ahead and tag both me and Anthony in there, please, so we can go ahead and help share that out as well, because I love showing that off.
Yeah, you're right. I appreciate that, man.
I don't think Anthony has a problem with doing some extra promotion on that either.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Now,
anyone that can help me in the promotion department, please, by all means.
Now, let me ask you this, because you kind of brought it up about wishing you had done this early and everything. So with all of the pandemic stuff, with all the extra stuff that's going on and all, how important have you found social media presence to be now?
There's no difference. Let me put it like this. And this is just in my observation. There's no difference in the importance of it prior or after. As far as the importance of it, that COVID hasn't changed that. What it has done is it has allowed whatever presence you do have to be that much more effective. You know what I'm saying? But even when COVID goes away, you're still gonna have to put in just as much work, man. Like the workload doesn't change. You know what I mean? The fact that there are more people listening, that's all lanyard, bro. That's all lanyard, because you still got to put the work in, which is my next phase is as soon as this kind of gets into where the book's coming off the press and everything like this, and everything is kind of ready to go, we're going to start up a YouTube channel and start mixing it up like that, because it's like you have, if you're going to go this route, you have to, you really do. You have to, because you have to give people access to you, to your product, to your ideas and stuff like that. You have to. Otherwise, you can be drowned out by just nonsense, man. It's a lot of noise out there, you know. And so to cut through that, you have to use whatever angles are at your disposal. YouTube is one of them, amongst others, but YouTube is one of them.
Oh no, I completely agree on that. And the fact that you answered it the way that you did, I would completely agree on that, because too many people did not realize the value in the tool that the internet is actually with all this, because even whenever there wasn't anything happening in the world that was, pandemic wise and all, this is an extra tool that you can use. Yeah, you can still go to conventions, you can still go to retail networks and everything, but this right here will get you marketed out there to so many more people and get your name out there, because it's all about momentum and tempo.
Absolutely. Momentum is huge. And that's one of those misunderstood things. And most people don't, because social media, it's hard to track, man. I mean, it's so hard to track. And each one has its own rhythm. Instagram has its own rhythm. YouTube has its own rhythm. Twitter has its own. Facebook. They all have their own rhythm, their own times, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like you're saying, it's like you want to. It's almost like surfing, man. It's like I don't know when the wave's coming, but when it does, I need to be ready to get on my board and ride it where it takes me. You know what I mean? Because when it does present itself, if you're not there to take advantage of it, then you'll just miss the wave, man.
So I got to ask, what's in the future, for you going out with this? Because I know you've mentioned about a part 2 coming out, which I'm hooked on that one. You know that already. But what else are you looking forward to?
We have now the next thing that's probably going to drop is going to be a book called Justice City Chronicles. And again, this is my editor, my partner, Marcus DeGisu. Him and I did the first one in 2005. And then we, and again, the book was ready to go. And it was going to drop in October of 2005. And of course, Katrina happened in August of 2005. And it did a number on me, man. And it put me in limbo for about 10 years, man. And Marcus kind of got, he did his thing, I did my thing. And then, when I started doing God's Hand and stuff, we started talking again. And I was like, man, let's do this, So we took the original Justice City, and then we took the 28-page second issue, which has never been seen before. And he's reworked it and stuff. He went back through it, reworded it, relettered it, everything, touched it up and stuff. We got all kind of extra content that we're putting in. He's got me doing new covers for it. We got I think 6 pages of additional story. I think we have a prologue and an epilogue. And I think it's going to come in between 50, 60 pages. And that will be dropping probably we're hoping to drop it in November. But we'll see how the tides go on that. And so what'll happen is probably as soon as this, because we had this conversation tonight, and I said, you can go and start promoting. And I said, I can't. It's going to be hard for me to promote too much of it. I said, because I think it's against etiquette. You know what I mean? Like for me to be promoting a book when I haven't delivered the original book, and be asking people to put money out for a book when I haven't delivered the first one. Even though it's not my project, I did all the artwork for it, and I'm going to be out there, promoting it. It's like, well, so we're thinking probably November.
Okay.
So we can both really, really hit on it and stuff like that. And, hopefully you'll have me and him, or him, it doesn't matter, back on, and we can, promote it. It's a good looking book, man. It's a man. I was happy when he said we're going to bring this back, and I was like, cool, man, because I had a lot of fun doing this, and it's like a mix between like Street Fighter, G.I. Joe, Mask, Gundam. It's like, dude, it's like all the best shit. G.I. Joe. It's like all the best shit just crammed into one story, and it's amazing how it flows. Because you're like, that's a lot of stuff. But Marcus pulls it off, man. And you're just like, wow, this is really good. I really enjoy this, It's a lot of fun. Man.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about what all's in there. I'm like, yeah, just go ahead and just sign me up. Wherever I got to go ahead and write down on that, just put me on there. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And we can definitely work on getting you in the books to get you back on the show. I have no problem with that.
Cool, man.
But when are we looking at part 2, possibly? I know it'll be next year, but when next year?
So I really would love to drop part 2 in May. That's what I want to do. And like I said, and that's going to mainly depend upon, again, me having probably 50% of the book done. I don't want to make that mistake again. Right. And it becomes because what happens is and this is what you learn. You can't foresee this stuff, but if you're in the middle of something and something goes wrong, then all production, all promotion, everything is shut down until you fix the problem. And again, what that can do is that can take momentum. You mentioned momentum, and that can really hurt momentum. And it's hard to keep yourself motivated and stuff like this. And it's like, if I had more of the book done, I wouldn't have been so crunched out. When the printer collapsed, when the colorist collapsed, when all these things fell apart, it wouldn't have been so detrimental because I'd have been further along and I'd been like, okay, cool, I can do this, I can do this. But when you're in the middle of production and you have to produce this stuff, it's like, man, it kills you. So I'm hoping to have in May to be able to drop and have minimum of 50% of the project done. You know what I mean? So it's, I'd like to get as much as I can get done, really. So there's not such a wait in the window. You know what I mean? I would love to get this down to 3 months, 4 months max. So that when a book's funded, once it's funded, 3 months later, you're receiving the book. Because I'd like to do at least 2 projects a year, at least. You know what I mean? And then work on, and if I can help out with other people, I can help out with other people. But 2 of my own projects that are drawn by me a year. And again, in between 50 and 60 pages. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, the value's there. I mean, you're not going wrong on that by any means. You're not, it's not a 28-page book and we're only, we're still spending, $30, $40 for a 28-page book. It's not
right.
Everyone has seen what the interiors look like. This is not your normal trade paperback either. And the value is there. So you cannot miss out on this.
Right. Well, that's what we hope. I mean, that's what you want. You want people to feel like, at the end of the day, you want people to feel like, hey, man, my goal always is this, is that when that book hits your hands, you do not want, you know exactly where your money went. You understand? You're looking at it going, oh, yeah, gotcha. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, oh, man, I wish I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, you like, holy, man, this is, and then that's why we threw all the extra stuff in, too, man, so that by the time it all gets there with the lanyard packs, with the extra prints and stuff like this, man, it's like, because we want people to go, hey, man, whatever happened, stick with us. We'll do right by you, man.
Very cool. Well, Anthony, it has been an honor having you on here tonight and getting to know you.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man. You've got people over here just salivating up a storm, ready to go and jump over there. Like I said, links are embedded. So all you got to do is click on See More, and you'll get that link. Go straight over there in Indiegogo, jump on that thing. It's in demand, so it'll be there for a while. But you don't want to miss out. I mean, this is some great stuff that's available on there. So
yeah, you want to get that. You want to get in on that lanyard pack, man.
Yeah. So if you'll go ahead and give us one last shout out on where we can find you on this, and then I'm going to get you in the green room, and I'll get back to you here shortly.
Gotcha. So you can find the book on Indiegogo, God's Hand. You can go to my website, kiddestructo.com. There's a link in there. You can also find it through there. You can find me on Twitter at kiddestructo1 or Anthony Figaro. You can find me on Facebook, Anthony Figaro. You can find me on Instagram, Kid Destructo or Anthony Figaro. I believe I'm also on Tumblr. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on as many of these as you can find me on, man. But mainly I'm on like Twitter, Facebook, and you can usually find me through there. And like I said, you can go to Indiegogo, look up God's Hand, and you can see all the fun stuff we got on there, man.
And right before I send you backstage, let me go ahead and bring this up. You have a new fan of your comics right there in Dan Stockwell.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. All right, let me go ahead and drop you backstage. I'll do my closing statements. I'll be with you here shortly.
Cool. Thank you, man.
All right. Hey, we had Anthony up here. We got to know him a little bit better, got to know about his works that he had going on and all. And he's got some amazing artwork that he does, amazing storyline and everything that he's doing with it. So I always have a closing statement. Tonight's not going to be any different on that. And I always do it, or I try to base it at least, on my interview that I have. Tonight is very simple. Respect gets respect. It was brought up in there that there were some setbacks and some things that were holding people back on, why the comic is not going to come out whenever it was supposed to be printed and everything. So a simple email coming out saying, hey, we apologize, this is happening, whatever, hold tight, we'll get it to you. Respect gets respect, because as far as I'm concerned, he has more of my respect because of what he did on top of this. It's not the free stuff. It's the fact that he's going on there and saying it's not fair, it's not right, it's not your fault as the fans and the followers, so I'm going to make this right. That right there means respect gets respect. So in everything that you're doing, whether it's the industry, whether it's life, respect gets respect. You show the right amount of respect, you'll get the right amount of respect back. Every single show I say it. One pebble in a pond, you get a ripple. Everyone else starts throwing pebbles and rocks in that pond, you get the waves of change. So until next time, we've had a hell of a show. You've been a hell of a crew in here tonight. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing all of y'all on Thursday night's guest. This is an exclusive right here, right now. I have Jesse Witchman will be here on Thursday. So y'all have a great night, and we will see you again on Thursday. Keep it indie, y'all.